A young programmer, Tim is in a video call with his team. They all are complaining about delays and how they are approaching their deadline. Tim gets overwhelmed. His vision starts to blur and starts to hallucinate his wife.
3 Dinge, die du an mir liebst.
Deine Augen, dein Herz und...
Immer wenn du lachst, bin ich glücklich.
Moments later, Liv appears near the bathroom and says she has something to show him. Exhausted and preoccupied, Tim tells her to be quick because he needs to go back to the call. On their way out, they bump into Anton, another tenant, and then Mr. Friedman, the landlord.
Großbrand in der Hafen City. Nachrichten sind voll davon.
Ja, das wird es.
Schatz, ich müsste eigentlich zurück in den Call.
Nur 1 Minute.
After saying goodbye, Liv leads Tim to the parking area, where she reveals a surprise. She's bought a camper van. She wants them to hit the road and escape to Paris for a while. But instead of lighting him up, the suggestion hits a nerve.
Und nach Paris dann weiter. Egal wohin.
Ich habe gekündigt.
Ich brauche diesen Cut, Tim.
Ich kann meinen Job jetzt nicht einfach so hinschmeißen. Das Spiel ist mir wichtig, okay?
The next morning, Liv is already dressed. She tells Tim she's leaving. But when she opens the front door, there's no hallway, just a wall of solid black bricks sealing them in. Tim checks the door camera, but the feed is scrambled. He rushes to the living room and yanks at the windows. They're bricked up too. Liv grabs her phone to call for help, but there is no signal.
Scheiße, hier ist alles tot.
Das ist keine Kohlefaser. Was ist das für ein Material? Schiede, warum baut man so eine Wand?
Das Ding ist im ganzen Treppenhaus.
Then they hear a noise. It's coming from the apartment next door. They hurry to the shared wall and start drilling again. After some effort, they break through. On the other side, a young couple, Marvin and Anna, stranded just like them. Tim asks if their exit is also sealed. Anna says it was already blocked when she woke up.
Wir werden hier drin sterben, oder?
Lass mir auch noch was übrig, okay?
Scheiße.
In den Kühlschrank muss ich ja nicht schauen. Wir hätten gestern abhauen können. Wenn du nicht so ein... Egal.
After the argument, Tim loses it. He throws his phone against the wall. It hits, drops, and as it slides down the floor, he spots the same fly from earlier perched on a plate. Then something strange catches his eye. A small chip from his broken phone has latched onto the brick wall, like a magnet. Liv returns and quietly apologizes for yelling.
Schau mal. Okay, und jetzt?
An diesen 4 Stellen ist das Magnetfeld am stärksten. Alles Quadrat.
Liv removes the objects from the other bricks and places them on the 4. Instantly, the items begin to vibrate. Before either of them can react, the metal tools fly off the wall. Tim shouts for Liv to duck and shields her. A blade nicks him in the process.
Sorry.
Danke dir.
Sag mir bitte, dass es morgen wieder verschwunden ist, okay?
Suddenly, shouting erupts from the neighbor's place. Tim widens the hole, and armed with a bat and pepper spray, he and Liv climb through. Inside, they find Anna bleeding and shaken. Liv supports her while Tim looks for Marvin, who suddenly charges out in a panic. Liv reacts fast, spraying him in the face. Anna begs them to stop.
Würde mir nie was antun.
Muss das sein?
Nimm den lieber.
Ich bin Anna übrigens. Das hier ist Marvin.
While Marvin sobers up, Tim explores further into the apartment. He comes across a locked door marked "No Entry" and forces it open. Liv joins him inside. They search for anything useful. Liv finds a compact camera. Tim discovers a sledgehammer and swings it at the walls, but the bricks don't budge. Marvin, slightly more clear-headed, asks why he's tied up. Anna tells him he charged at Tim. Marvin apologizes. Liv shifts focus. She says maybe the way out isn't through the walls, but down. She remembers that the building, constructed in 1897, had an air raid shelter added during World War II. When they first moved in, she saw a blueprint showing it connected to the nearby subway. If they can break through a few floors, they might reach it. Motivated, Tim starts hammering the floor.
Was meint ihr, was das alles zu bedeuten hat?
Vielleicht ist es hier sowas wie ein kranker Escape Room.
Vielleicht sind's Aliens. Der Ausweit? Hallo?
Tim.
Danke.
Downstairs, he faces Oswald, who immediately points a gun at him. He warns Tim to stay away from his supplies. Tim assures him he's not after food, just a way out. Oswald's granddaughter Leah appears and tells him to back off. She urges him to give the newcomers a chance. Reluctantly, Oswald agrees but warns them to stay away from Leah.
Wir haben auch eine Leiter da.
Warum ist er überhaupt gefesselt?
War eine kleine Meinungsverschiedenheit.
Ich habe mich gestern Abend mit meiner Freundin gestritten. Dann habe ich sie weggeschickt. Vielleicht.
Du wirst sie wiedersehen.
Then Tim notices something off about a smoke detector nearby. He opens it. Inside, a hidden camera. He checks another. Same thing. He asks Oswald if he installed them. Oswald denies it, saying all smoke alarms were installed by Friedman. Liv mentions Friedman's apartment is on the other side of the wall. Without wasting time, they smash through the wall into Friedman's unit. Tim calls out for him, but no answer.
cooler.
Then they find Friedman lying dead. His hands have been severed. Liv reels, overwhelmed. Tim tries to calm her down, telling her that everything will be okay. She stumbles back and rushes out of the room, nearly hyperventilating. Tim, staying composed, picks up Friedman's phone. He opens it and inside finds dozens of photos of black brick walls from different angles. Marvin keeps breaking the floor nervously. Liv, trying to steady her nerves, flips through an old newspaper and points something out to Tim, a report on the Hafen City fire. She wonders aloud if there's a connection. Tim takes the paper and read it. The place is too far from where they are. Before they can discuss further, the floor beneath them collapses.
Scheiße.
Schon wieder Scheiße gebaut.
Ich geh da nicht runter. Brich mir aber nicht den Hals. Für deine Sicherheit.
Aber spinnst du jetzt komplett?
Geh doch.
Downstairs, a man steps out and introduces himself as Yuri. He claims to be a friend of Anton, one of the building's residents. Yuri asks why they came through the ceiling. Tim tells him they're trying to reach the basement and get out. Yuri says escape is impossible. The air outside is toxic. The black walls are protecting them. Liv asks about Anton. Yuri leads them to his room. Anton lies still on the bed.
Herzversagen, vermutlich. War schon immer sehr sensibel.
Ja, sorry, BG.
Ja. Ich trag das selber, Liebes.
Sie hat ihn getötet. Nicht jeder kann damit umgehen, weißt du?
Then they break through the last section of floor and descend into the basement. They walk through a tunnel and finally spotted the emergency exit. Liv breaks the door and opens it, but it is sealed with the bricks. While all this happens, Yuri listens to everything from where he is. Marvin snaps. He slams the wall with the sledgehammer in fury. Oswald intervenes, pulling a gun and shouting for him to stop. Marvin backs off, but it's an act. In a sudden move, he snatches the weapon and fires it at the wall. Instantly, the embedded metal in the bricks reacts. The objects tear loose and shoot across the room. Oswald is shot. Anna wonders aloud if they're all trapped here because of some shared connection. She shares that she nearly died at 15 after being hit by a car while biking. Leah speaks next. Her mother died of cancer 2 years ago. Then Yuri, after a pause, admits he's a police officer. He confesses he once killed someone while on duty and he's never forgiven himself.
Was deine Schuld ist, wissen wir.
Für den du verantwortlich bist!
Es tut mir leid.
Was ist mit euch beiden?
Wir haben unser Kind verloren.
Wie kannst du einfach vor denen damit anfangen? Es geht niemandem was an.
Doch, ich habe keine Ahnung, wie lange wir hier drin noch leben. Es ging darum, unser Leben zu ändern. Ich will endlich wieder atmen können und das kann ich nicht mehr mit dir.
Eventually, Tim pulls himself together and shifts focus. They need to search Friedman's place for renovation files or security footage. Leah mentions that Anton's desk had notes, possibly useful. She remembers seeing brick diagrams and sketches. Liv adds they discovered a specific pattern of 4 bricks that reacted to metal. Meanwhile, Tim notices something off. The layout of Friedman's apartment doesn't add up. There's less space than there should be. He suspects a hidden room. At the same time, Marvin finds a device that looks like a remote, possibly the key to unlock the concealed wall. But without Friedman's fingerprint, they're looking at millions of combinations.
Schau mal. Nano-Defense? Epsilon Nano-Defense? Code. Code wofür?
Dass hier eine tödliche Strahlung reinkommt, sobald ihr die Wand öffnet.
Okay.
Anna returns with news of Tim's find. Liv and Yuri follow her out. Leah stays behind, staring at the cluttered desk and Anton's last bits of work. Upstairs, Tim finally cracks the remote's code. The hidden wall slides open, revealing a secret room wired with surveillance monitors. Friedman had been spying on every resident.
Der hat hier alles aufgezeichnet. Die hat alles.
Ein Game Master.
Wir hatten 4 Mal in einer Stunde Sex. Kann mir irgendjemand erklären, was wir da gerade gesehen haben?
Elsewhere, Leah takes a closer look at Anton's body. What she finds doesn't match Yuri's story. There are bruises around his neck, strangulation. Yuri had claimed Anton collapsed in his room. At this time, Yuri appears from behind. The group quickly realizes Yuri and Leah have vanished. Marvin goes looking for them. Back in the surveillance room, they see the brick getting open. Anton had opened a way out before he was killed by Yuri. Marvin finds Leah dead. Yuri is nearby, tossing Anton's notes into a fire. Marvin confronts him, but Yuri stays calm. He insists the wall is there for protection. Just then, Tim arrives.
Hey, lass ihn
Back in the living room, Tim searches Yuri's bag and pulls out an old World War II book. He quietly hands Marvin the gun and asks him to keep watch. Then he finds Liv and tells her gently, none of this is her fault. Anna joins them. She's still trying to understand why Yuri would kill Leah. Liv thinks it is because she was getting closer to the truth. Anna notices the surveillance camera blinking. She decides to dig through those video logs and see what Anton was working on. Meanwhile, Liv and Tim sift through the scorched remains of Anton's documents, hoping to recover fragments of code. Liv suggests the wall might be programmed.
Schau mal, in der Wanne. Weißt du, wo das ist? Direkt in der Hafen City.
They confront Yuri again. Tim demands answers. They slap him and yell at him to wake up. Then they start a series of questions about what Anton was doing and how to open the wall using his method.
Ihr werdet mir noch dankbar sein.
Yuri, wie öffnet man die Wand?
Ich weiß nur, dass es ein Verteidigungssystem ist. Gegen jede Art von Angriff.
Warum hat er versucht, hier rauszukommen?
Er hat gedacht, es ist eine Fehlfunktion im System.
Yuri finally admits. Anton believed the wall was activated by mistake, something triggered by the fire. Suddenly, Anna calls out. She's recovered the footage. On screen, Anton is coding an app, something that interfaces directly with the wall. Tim takes one look and realizes it's not an interval code after all. It's optical, like a QR code.
Aber
Licht. Jetzt brauche ich ein funktionierendes Handy.
Tim, Liv, and Anna head to the strange wall. Marvin stays behind, keeping his eyes on Yuri. At the wall, Tim begins scanning with the phone and taps 4 specific bricks, just like the footage showed. Slowly, the surface of the wall begins to ripple and melt. Anna reaches out.
Sie steckt fest.
The horror is too much for Marvin. In shock and grief, he turns the gun on Yuri and fires. Then, without a word, he turns the gun on him. Hours later, Tim and Liv sit together. Tim finally speaks and apologizes.
Ich hätte mir gewünscht, dass du drüber sprichst. Ich hätte uns gerne als Familie kennengelernt.
Ich liebe an dir, dass du immer für uns gekämpft hast, an uns geglaubt hast.
Tim suggests they try to escape one last time. He moves toward the wall and prepares to enter the code. This time, he starts tapping from the bottom. Liv stops him. She tells him to wait, to look closer at the flashes, the light patterns from the video footage. She recalls the first brick flashed once, the second 4 times, and the next even more.
Und die haben wir auf Video. Das waren 6. 6 Lichtimpulse.
Okay, komm.
Just as they prepare to test the sequence, Yuri appears, bloodied. He lunges at Tim and knocks him to the floor. Liv tries to help, but loses her balance and crashes through the weakened floor into the basement. Yuri tries to follow, but Tim throws him down after her. Together, Tim and Liv walk through the basement and exit the apartment with the opening Liv made. But outside, there's no freedom. The surrounding buildings, every single one, are now sealed in the same black brick. Tim and Liv look at their surroundings in shock, not knowing what to do. Then they climb into the camper van. They looked at each other and Liv started the engine. The radio comes to life, and a broadcast crackles through. The brick wall defense system was triggered by a critical malfunction tied to the fire at Epsilon Nanodefense. The cause of the fire is unknown. No one knows if it was natural or an act of sabotage. They advise the people who have been able to reach safety to stay together. As this went on, Liv and Tim drove away, determined to escape. On the sky, helicopters are seen flying above the brick wall.